This is WWEX, your place for the latest in World Wrestling Entertainment news. I'm DJ Torvald.
And I'm Little Caesar, baby.
Hail Caesar.
This is Wrestle Talk, and today we're discussing last night's WWE King of the Ring episode. Got a lot to cover, so we're going to try to make it, nice, brief, and sexy like we always do. Do you want to go over the bracket style first, and then we can get into the matches a little bit?
Certainly. The qualifying matches were last week during Raw and SmackDown. We had 4 superstars from each show.
Oh, yeah.
There's John Morrison versus Cody Rhodes, Daniel Bryan versus Alberto Del Rio, Ezekiel Jackson versus Drew McIntyre, and Sheamus versus Kofi Kingston.
Yeah. Well, let's go through the first match here. John Morrison pulled out his little special kick, which is the same as Cody Rhodes's.
That was a
beautiful disaster.
It was a beautiful disaster versus the Flying Chuck.
That's what it is. If they're trying to get rid of his Starship Pain thing, which was amazing, I'll be disappointed. But point is, Cody Rhodes jobbed to Morrison. Anyways, on to the next match, which was Daniel Bryan and Alberto Del Rio.
That was a pretty good match from what I saw. I was pretty sure Del Rio was going to win, but it was a pretty convincing finish. Daniel Bryan looked fine. They worked his arm, and he tapped out to that.
All right. The next match was Zeke and Drew McIntyre.
That match was kind of forgettable. It was okay. Pretty standard Zeke match.
Double count out.
Yeah, that was what I didn't expect, though. Double count out. I really didn't know what they were going to do with that, whether they were going to, restart the match but it ended up they just gave the winner of the next match a bye.
Which was Sheamus, of course, because they weren't going to give Kofi Kingston another push for him to go ahead and fail at. I guess we can go to the semifinal round. It was Morrison versus Del Rio. This one surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, that really surprised me too, actually.
Pretty much the same as the Cody Rhodes one. Ended up rope breaking the Del Rio's little cross arm breaker, and then the exact same kick that came out of nowhere that he's never used before as a finisher, to my knowledge, to win and advance to the final round against Sheamus, which was actually a pretty sweet match.
Yeah, that was another good match, and I really, really expected Morrison to win over Sheamus in the last match.
I don't know. I guess everybody else thought he was going to get, the whole Miz being the WWE champion, which we'll get into a little bit later. I figured they'd feud or something, but whatever.
Yeah, because Morrison's won, the last 2 matches against him, I thought?
Yeah, they had a little feud going for a while. It's pretty swank stuff. I'm being told we got to go to a commercial break, so time for a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with some more slamming commentary on Wrestle Talk. Kaboom.
Tune in on Sunday, December 19th for the WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs pay-per-view special, featuring Edge versus Kane in a TLC match for the World Heavyweight title, The Miz versus Randy Orton, and Rey Mysterio versus Alberto Del Rio.
Welcome back to Wrestle Talk on WWEX with DJ Torvald.
And the Little Caesar, baby.
Hail Caesar.
All right, we're going to get into some of the other happenings of the episode, which, in my opinion, were a lot more entertaining than the actual tournament. But we watch Raw for the acting and the commentary. So we'll get into Alex Riley, first of all, hosting, which was awesome, personally.
That was great. I expected to see a little more of The Miz tonight. I was happy with seeing Alex Riley all night in the suit and the Bluetooth.
Oh, absolutely.
He made that.
Yeah.
And that he pretty much hosted a 3-hour Raw right after getting charged with DUI. That's
really? He's
amazing. Yeah.
Anyways, The Miz is the freaking champion, and can we talk about how great life's been since that?
Life has just been coasting along like nothing.
The stars are aligned. The Miz is awesome. I don't care what you guys say, but this is going to be awesome. The era of awesomeness.
All right, well, let's move on to the main event of the night, which surprisingly wasn't the King of the Ring, even though it was just the King of the Ring episode, was a ladder match for the title with The Miz.
And Jerry the freaking King Lawler, who's our favorite sex offender.
Yeah, so that was something. I was surprised people were getting behind that. I guess Miz is over more than I expected. Yeah. Not that there's any reason for him not to be. He's great.
Oh, absolutely.
But people were really getting behind the King. And, I was reading the Facebook comments again on the WWE Facebook about that match, and so many people really wanted the King to win the WWE title.
What the hell did these people think he was going to do with the title reign?
I really don't know.
Cool.
But, yeah, it was an okay match. It kind of sold the TLC pay-per-view a little bit. It wasn't terrible for it being with the King. They took a few bumps on the chairs and the tables or whatever, but, obviously the Miz retained.
Which surprised nobody except for all the children and marks. So, poor people and children.
Yeah. Yeah, so overall, I thought this was a pretty good episode. The 3 hours went by pretty fast. So that about wraps it up for this week. We'll be back next week. We'll talk about SmackDown, maybe even Superstars, and then we'll talk about next week's Raw, obviously, as well. All right, that was Wrestle Talk with DJ Torvald.
And the Little Caesar, baby.
Hail Caesar on WWEX.
Stay sexy.